Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is Marriage Monday. We're in a series called Love Habits, and we're up to number 4. It has a really long title, but I can simplify it quite easily. The title is Appreciate Each Other with Gratitude and Acts of Kindness. Now, the simple form of that is treat them like you're still dating them. And that makes all the difference, because when you treat them like you're still dating them, they feel appreciated. There's gratitude, there's kindness, and when you show that, they show it back to you. So, sounds simple. What's the problem? Well, for us, the problem came after we got married, because we kind of slipped back into the old habits and the way we were brought up. Both of us did. And it wasn't quite what we needed to maintain a good marriage. As a matter of fact, when we were dating, I knew I had to be kind. I knew I had to be on my best behavior. I knew I had to do everything just right. Why? Because I didn't want to lose her. I wanted to make sure that she knew I was extremely serious about her, and that I was willing to show it and make a difference. And it comes down to your attitude and how you show up. I was of the attitude that I didn't want to lose her, so I'd do whatever it took. We can carry that into our marriage. I still don't want to lose her, and I still want to do everything it takes to make sure that she's happy and that we are happy. Over time, this is the reason thousands of men and women leave their relationships, because they're looking for what they had when they were dating. Why? Because it was nice and they liked it. Now, for us, like I said, the problem happened because, you get married, you get used to each other, you take them for granted, and you basically let old habits come back. So for me, I grew up in a very sarcastic household. If there was a compliment, it was usually delivered backhanded. We were constantly, in verbal wars back and forth, one-upsmanship. It felt like a constant verbal sword fight where you had a shield and you'd parry their attack, and then you'd give your own attack, you'd hit their shield, just back and forth. That's fine for brothers and sisters, but and even for like kids on the playground, you kind of had to keep that level of defense mechanism in place. And that's exactly what it was. You were basically protecting yourself from getting hurt by always having, the point of a stick to give back if they gave you something that you didn't like. And I was good at it. It just made growing up a lot easier if you could always be, kind of like sharp as a tack and ready to attack. And people knew it. They wouldn't give you a lot of trouble, and it's just how we lived, which is fine for, like I said, for co-workers and brothers and sisters and other relationships, but not so much for an intimate relationship. I don't want to, have to get past a sword and a shield every time I go to bed. I want to have somebody who's kind and thankful for me and appreciates me. And the only way you can really get that is by giving that. This is definitely something that both couples need to do. They need to practice appreciation and gratitude and acts of kindness. But you can't make somebody do that. It would come off as criticism because, you're not being kind, or you don't appreciate me, or all the yous come out, when what you really need to focus on is the I. What can I do? Well, the good thing is, if you practice these things, they usually come back to you, because it's hard when you're kind to somebody for them to treat you unkindly. It's hard when you appreciate somebody for them to be unappreciative of you. Same with gratitude. If you're thankful to somebody, they tend to be more thankful for you. It's just how they respond. If they know that you're sincere. Now, obviously, compliments need to be real and sincere. You don't, they recognize if you're just trying to butter them up for something, it doesn't work. Your compliments and your gratitude have to be real. Well, maybe you feel like there's nothing to compliment or nothing to show gratitude for. They're not doing anything. That can happen sometimes, especially in marriages where there's like a Cold War going on. Well, I'm not going to do anything for them if they don't do something for me. So I'm even going to take a step back. And you both basically keep stepping away from the romance, from the even you stop being kind to each other. You get to a point where you go through an arguing stage, and then you even get to the point where you just don't care, and you're just like roommates. You're just like, yeah, they're there, I'm here, but there's just nothing anymore. And you can get it back. Just start dating them again. Maybe call them up, say, hey, I'm free tonight. You want to go out? They'd kind of take them aback probably if you've been in a Cold War. But why not start dating them? Why not? I mean, that's what people leave to go find when they leave a relationship. They're looking for what they had when they were dating. So just start over again, and then when you do that, if there is something, catch them doing something right. If they respond well to something you say, they say, I really like it when you say that, or, just start from scratch. You're going to have to start from scratch if you are at the point where you're going to throw your marriage out. Why don't you just start dating your wife instead of going and finding someone else to date? Why not? It's possible to get back everything you had and for it to be even better. The research has shown over and over again that people that work through problems are better off when they're done. They find that they are more fulfilled and more happy after they've worked through things. So even if you've got like a horrible Cold War going on, she's ready to leave, you're ready to leave, and you're ready to call it quits, start dating again. Make it fun. You fell in love with her the first time, you can fall in love with her again. Forgive her for the things she's done. Start over. Why not? If you divorce her and go start with another woman, it's probably going to be somebody that has the same issues that they had with another person, and you're just going to have to start from scratch with them, and you'll eventually get to the same point you are right now with the one you already have. So I don't know if you're at that point, but if you are, just start dating her again. The same things and the same feelings that brought you together the first time will overtake you again. Appreciate the things that she does. Find something to appreciate her for. Find something to show her thankfulness for. Thank her for something. Acts of kindness. Bring her a cup of coffee the way she likes it. Bring her a little gift. Write her a little note. Start being kind again. And that's generally what happens is when things escalate, it's like, well, you're all defensive, and the whole idea of being kind is just like, that ain't happening. Well, why not? Wipe it clean. Give them a clean slate. Say, hey, let's just start over. And then you take the initiative and be kind. What have you got to lose? Nothing, really. I mean, so you're kind and they don't reciprocate it and you end up going your separate ways? Well, you would have lost that anyway. And at least you got to be kind. Now, on the other hand, what do you get to gain? Well, if you're kind and they reciprocate and they're kind in return, you can regain what you had to begin with. It's even if, say, you're nowhere near divorce and nothing's going bad, it's just like you're kind of used to each other and it's dull, it's boring. That's a point that people get to when they end up having affairs because they want that excitement back. And that's just as dangerous. So why don't you get that excitement back with your wife? Appreciate something she does. Show her some gratitude. Show her little acts of kindness and see if they start coming back to you. Start dating her again. You can get back what you thought was lost. You can have what you think is a loveless relationship, and you can get it back. That's what the studies have shown. If you continue to do things that you did when you were dating, and the other thing is attitude. Who is your wife? Is she your better half? Is she your lover? Is she your best friend? Or is she, in your mind, the old lady, the ball and chain, she who must be obeyed? Go right on down the list. What is your attitude towards your wife? It's important to have a good attitude towards your wife, and you can mentally change that. That's something you can do. If you have a bad attitude about your wife, like you feel like she's like the ball and chain and she's holding you back, well, she's not. You're holding yourself back by having a bad attitude about it. Start thinking of her and start looking to the future. Don't look at your marriage as a snapshot or a photograph. Look at it as a movie and make it a challenge to get to the next scene. Why not? It's a perfect opportunity. You don't like what you're looking at in your marriage? Oh well, it can change. Let's change it. Get in there and change. Divorce, affairs take a lot of effort, time, money. Invest in your wife instead. That same amount that you would spend and lose going down that track, invest it in your marriage. It can come back. It can come back better than ever. And if you do that, it will divorce-proof your marriage because you will actually like each other. If you get to the point where you've got a bad attitude and nobody's being kind, there's intimacy isn't happening, there's no sex, there's nothing, and you're just like roommates, pick up the phone and give her a call and say, hey, you want to go out on a date? Start fresh. Clean slate. You can do it. And it's worth it. Everything you invest, you will get back much more. So it's difficult to change another person, but you can always change yourself. You can change the attitude you have about your wife. You can change the way you're treating her. And you can basically become a mirror for what you want. If you want to be appreciated, then appreciate. If you want to have her be thankful for you, then be thankful for her. And sometimes you have to work at it, but it's worth it. It's worth the effort you put in. This is a key because, like I said, this is a thing that men and women leave marriages for. They want to go find that excitement and that fun and that feeling that they had when they were first married. It's not lost. You can get it back. You just have to change your attitude and start doing the things that you said. And like for me, it didn't come natural. I had to learn it the first time, and then I had to not revert to my old ways, and then I had to continue. And it does get better. It does change things. When you do the right things, she will change too. I can't guarantee it because there's another person involved, but it is definitely worth your time to try. That's it. That's another Marriage Monday. appreciate your wife, show her gratitude, and just continue those acts of kindness and things that you did when you were dating. It's worth every bit of it. See you next time for the next Marriage Monday.